Hey guys, it's MugenLord here, and I'm back again with another discussion video, and today I want to talk about Injustice 2. Now, the thing is, I know this game has been revealed about a year ago, and now it's about to come out and be released here in the States and everywhere else this month, and I've yet to talk about it on my YouTube channel, so I thought today would be perfect to talk about it, since yesterday, the DLC characters, which was Starfire, Sub-Zero, and Red Hood was revealed as the first DLC characters for the first fighter pack. So I want to just show the trailer, and after the trailer is done, we'll get into the discussion, and I'll give my opinions and what I think about these characters and Injustice 2 altogether. So let us begin, shall we? I love how they use this same room that they used to reveal Injustice 2. Now they're using it for the DLC characters. Starfire, iconic here. My boy Red Hood. I just love her design. They really designed her way better than the other female characters in this game. Can't wait. Super excited, and that's what I'm talking about. Yep, so here we have the three characters, and of course the silhouettes of the upcoming Fighter Pack 2 and 3. So we're going to take it back, and we're going to pretty much discuss these characters and everything. So I'm going to pause it. So okay, so for starters, we have, of course, our three DLC characters, which we're going to talk about first, and then we'll get into the other characters that's in the background in the silhouettes. So we'll start off on the right side, which is Red Hood. Now, the thing is, I love Red Hood as a character. Back in the day when I was a kid, my dad was an avid comic book reader. He loved DC and Marvel, and he told me that there was a Robin that was after Dick Grayson, but before Tim Drake, and that was Jason Todd. And he told me that this Robin was killed by the Joker, and it was weird hearing Robin being killed, but this Robin was killed by the Joker when he was using the crowbar and everything. So fast forward to 2008, 2009, my friend Dante had a graphic novel called Under the Red Hood. This is when I was first introduced to the character personally. I had read the graphic novel, and I fell in love with the comic. I fell in love with the character. This character's awesome. I love the development of this character, and the strong ties that he had with Batman and with the Joker. And it was just an amazing story. And then I finally got a chance to watch the animation. Matter of fact, I had bought the animation Under the Red Hood. That's how much I love the comic, and I love the character, and I just love the story altogether. So I was super excited for seeing this character be revealed for this game. I wanted him to be in Injustice 1, but we didn't have that opportunity, and I'm glad that we have him in this game now. Now, there's only one concern I have with this character is the fact is that Injustice is known for having these wide stages, these long stages, and it seems as though, especially what I experienced online and seeing some of the complaints about the first Injustice game, is that most characters that have projectiles and everything can dominate the match. They can sit back, camp out, and just mash away at their projectiles and everything. So hopefully that Red Hood won't be the case for Red Hood, because come on, he was trained by Batman, so he does know some hand-to-hand combat, and I would love to see some of the hand-to-hand combat mixed up with some of the gunplay, some of the gun action and stuff. So that's my only concern that I have for this character. So we're going to move on next to Starfire. Now, Starfire is another character I was hoping was going to be in Injustice 1, but didn't make the cut. And this is just another awesome comic book female character that's added to this roster. And she was popular because of the Young Justice. Now, I said Young Justice, my fault. I meant to say Teen Titans. I get those two I wouldn't say confused, because Young Justice seemed like a rip-off to Teen Titans to me for some reason. Don't know why. But yes, Teen Titans. I was in love with Starfire. Starfire was an awesome character, and it was the first time I was introduced to this character. I knew nothing of Teen Titans. I knew nothing of this character. So having her in this game is awesome. I love her costume. Her costume reflects the universe that they established for Injustice perfectly. Nowhere near close to what her costume is in the comics and everything, if you know what I mean. But this is an awesome costume, and I wonder what kind of gameplay mechanics she would have in this game. I wonder if she's going to be a mid-range fighter, long-range fighter, or she's going to have a mixture of between both close range and mid-range. I wonder what the gameplay mechanics would work when her hands glow up. I wonder what they would do with that. So I'm looking forward to see how they implement it. And I love the design of this character, especially with her face, because most of NetherRealm Studios have a tendency of just creating unattractive, unappealing looking female characters. They just look horrendous, but they did a good job with Starfire. So I give them 2 thumbs up for that. So we're gonna move on to Sub-Zero. Now the thing about Sub-Zero is, it was bound to happen. I mean, Scorpion was in Injustice 1, and boy, the feedback, the harsh feedback that the fans were giving Ed Boon's team about the implementation of Scorpion, for the fact is that, you know, Injustice don't have a block button. It has, if you hold back, you'll block. Mortal Kombat had a block button, so the big gripe with him was that he kind of like broke the game at one point because of him teleporting back and forth from the background of the screen to come to the other side and stuff. So it kind of pissed gamers off and everything, and so they gave him that Nerf hammer, and then ever since that, it's just been history. So it was bound that we was going to get another Mortal Kombat character. I wasn't surprised that Sub-Zero will be the fact, because he's like the second most popular character, arguably the second best popular character in Mortal Kombat lore. So it's awesome to see that. You see his costume. His costume fits perfectly. It blends well with the DC universe. And also looking at the blades that he have, I wonder, will those blades play an important part of his gameplay mechanics in this game. I wonder if also will he be able to take him in, you know, switch him in and out of combat, kind of like Deadly Alliance. I would love to see that type of gameplay for this Sub-Zero, but if not, oh well. I think he's still awesome design for this universe. So before we get into the silhouettes, I just want to state is that if I botch up these silhouettes or come up with these like crazy off the wall guesses, you know, just forgive me, don't flame me or whatever. So we're gonna start off on the right side of Red Hood. Look at the silhouettes. Now we know obviously the middle silhouette between the other 2 characters. The middle one in the middle will obviously have to be Raiden. It would make sense that it's Raiden. It looks like it's Raiden. He's arguably one of the third, you could say the third most iconic character within the Mortal Kombat lore. It would make sense. But at the same time, it's kind of crazy how it's surprising me that we would have an extra Mortal Kombat character added to this game. Now I want you to hear me out, because I was thinking about this for a minute when I looked at this. Now, if they're adding an extra Mortal Kombat character, what if this is like a test for a new, maybe an upcoming MK versus DC universe? Maybe, like think about it for a minute, because I wouldn't be surprised if the other DLC pack that has Black Manta on the other side, I wouldn't be surprised if they have a third Mortal Kombat character on the left side. So what if these 3 Mortal Kombat could be hinting, these 3 Mortal Kombat characters, if there are going to be 2 more Mortal Kombat characters, what if it could be hinting to get fan feedback or fan reactions to having Mortal Kombat characters facing against these DC characters? Like how, you know, like, I wouldn't be surprised. To me, it wouldn't be far-fetched at all that sooner or later we'll hear an announcement that there will be another MK versus DC. You know, despite the gameplay, I love the story mode to that game, and I would love to see a sequel to it. So, just I think it would be cool. So, we're gonna move on to the other silhouette, to the character on the right side of who I believe is Raiden. On the right side, it looks like a female character. You can tell by the stance and the shape of the character. I'm not going to sit here and guess what character that could be. I don't know who it could be at all. It looks like the character could be wearing a hoodie on, wearing like a, I don't know, like a tunic or whatever, or a skirt. I don't know who this character would be. So I'm not going to sit here and kill myself trying to figure it out, or even just butcher it. And then the character on the left side of Raiden, my brother DX Strike was saying it could be Shazam, and it could possibly be Shazam. But then again, I think I would be irritated that we would have to, you know, he was in the initial roster in the first game, and then now we have to pay for him as DLC. And if anything, would people want him to come back as a DLC character, on, you know, opposed to having another character that can replace Shazam? I don't know. But there was also some talks on the internet that it could be Azrael. from the Arkham Asylum series, and also he's in part of the Batman lore altogether. He was a character that Batman was considering to replace him if something was to happen to him, that he would take the mantle of the Bat. That was the case when Batman had first encountered Bane in the comics back in the day, when Bane had broke Batman's back. Pretty much Batman had Robin go out there and look for Azrael and have Azrael take over as Batman. But the problem was Azrael was kind of out of his mind, and not just out of his mind, he was also like pretty much almost killing most of his criminals, and that's not a code of the Bat family at all. Killing. So that pretty much it became an issue, but not to go deep into that comic at all. But it would make perfect sense, because you see the hoodie and it does look like he has a cape droop back, kind of similar to Shazam as well. So it could either be those two. But if it is Azrael, that's another Batman character added to an already extensive Batman roster count, head count for this game as it is. So who knows? So we're going to move on to the left side, which is on the left side of Sub-Zero. We have in the middle of the silhouettes, we have Black Manta, which perfect choice. Can't complain about that. I don't know why Black Manta wasn't part of the initial roster, the starting roster. I just couldn't figure that out. Why? What kind of fighter he would be? I don't know. He could be a mid-range fighter, or it could be a long-range fighter, but I'm preferably saying a mid-range fighter, even though he could probably possibly shoot the lasers from out his eyes and everything like that. What kind of combos he would have, I would have no idea. Would he have any type of, like, I guess you could say helpers or assists and stuff like that? That would probably be pretty interesting. And the other thing I always wonder too, what would happen if you pick him, and because he's a stage hazard as well on Aquaman stage. So I wonder what they do like they do in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. When you pick a character who's also in the background, when you pick that character, the character's no longer in the background. So I wonder what they do the same thing with the hazard. If you pick Black Manta, who will replace Black Manta in that place or whatever? Would they replace him with like an Aquaman? Or no, it wouldn't make sense, because what if you pick Black Manta and Aquaman? That would be kind of weird. So I wonder what they will fit in the place of that character in the stage hazard. Alright, so we'll move on to the other two. I'm going to say the other two silhouettes, because the other two I really don't know. I'm not going to sit there and try to kill myself trying to figure out what those characters may be. Now, like I said before, it'd be kind of crazy if we do get another Mortal Kombat character for this fighter pack as well, and then we have a total of 3 Mortal Kombat characters in this game. But that's pretty much my opinion of what I think about the DLC characters, and I want to know your thoughts on these DLC characters. Were they the perfect choice for the first starter pack for the Injustice 2 game? Which one of the 3 did you like the most? Starfire, Red Hood, or Sub-Zero? Or do you like all 3 of them? And if you do, tell me why. I would like to know your opinion and why, and what you think their gameplay mechanics may be for this game as DLC fighters. Also, do you think this game will stick around long as far as competitiveness? Because NetherRealm Studios also have the obsession to constantly keep nerfing and buffing characters and retweaking the game any chance they get. So before I close out, I also want to mention to you guys, if you guys have some topics you'd like for me to discuss, please, I urge and I strongly encourage you guys to leave some topics, because I do every once in a while, and I do majority of the time look for in the comment section people leaving topics, and I will give you guys also a shout out for having the particular topic that we do discuss and everything. So that pretty much wraps everything up. If you like this discussion video, make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe. This is MugenLord, and I'm signing off.